morning. I'm PopPop, and welcome to PopPop's LitRPG world. It's Thursday night. It's my regular interviewing night. Tonight, I am doing 2 interviews. Very first interview is William Myrl, currently the author of The Dark Lord of Crafting. He's done other things in the past as well, but that's his current. He's also involved over at the amazing work of Shadow Alley Press, which is Jeanette. Is it Strode or Stroud? How do they say that last name?
Strode. Yep.
Strode, Jeanette Strode, and James A. Hunter. Welcome to the world, William.
Thank you.
It was wonderful to meet you. It's wonderful to meet you now after always just Facebooking, with everything.
Yeah, we've been back and forth a little bit.
Back and forth for quite a while. He's a valuable resource to try to get into those people because, James is so busy.
He's a slippery customer. Yeah. Hard to get your tentacles on him.
Very, very, very slippery. I know that for sure. It took me 6 months to get my bathrobe. So what the hell?
Well, those are handcrafted.
I know that. He told me, trust me, he made me well aware. But they're high quality. They're not chintzy. They are high quality. They have to, survive the back rooms.
So, yeah, authentic knockoff Versace bathrobe.
Real imitation Versace bathrobe. So, all right.
100% fabric.
Dark Lord of Crafting. I have started it, but let's do this. It is currently a 3-book series. 4th book is coming out shortly. I'll show you guys the cover in a little bit. William, let me have it real quick. When I interviewed James, I was like, VGO, come on, it's a VR. Sell it to me. Sell me Dark Lord of Crafting.
All right. Well, I mean, the story was born out of my obsession with Minecraft, which may not be of incredible interest to everyone, but it was a thing that I really enjoyed. So right after I got out of prison, here's a quick segue there. I came home, and that was actually one of the first games I started to play was Minecraft. Or got really into it. It's it's a creative game, and it's about exploration really more than anything. It's an infinite world. You can dig as far as you can go down. You can get in a boat and get on the ocean and travel, and then build a castle somewhere off on the other side of the sea. And I really like that aspect of it. And the system itself, once I translated that to a story, is pretty straightforward. You just harvest materials and build, and they're held together by a crafting force. Just sort of a hand wavium there, but that's the nature of the game.
Hand wavium works in a crafting scenario. So,
but as I started, sorry, I just saw Joseph.
Wait a minute. PopPop's not here. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Joe Dan. Sometimes I'm old.
You have to have the glasses.
Happy PopPop's here now.
Yeah, I didn't even know who he was before. He was just some random guy with a
I'm
snail
old. Thank you, Joe Dan. I appreciate you. Hi, BJ.
And actually, this story was a personal challenge in that I had gotten onto Royal Road, and it was the first one where I was really active on Royal Road, and I decided I was going to do 100 days of posting, just 100 chapters in 100 days, and I wrote the first book/story over the period of that time. It ended up being like 160,000 words.
Yikes!
And that actually ended up being the first book and a half once all the editing and the as the story continued to expand, the goalposts shifted to where it was. What was I supposed to be doing? Selling you something? I'm not good at it.
Apparently, but
Apparently.
you know, hey, you're the writer. I'm the sell. I've been in sales forever. So we have an isekai situation. I will, you know, J Kraus hates when I give spoilers, but there's going to be, you know, I can spoil things in the beginning as long as I'm not destroying the ending of
I
it.
mean,
And
if it happens in the first few chapters, I don't think it counts as
I'm
spoilers,
not too
really.
far. I'm not too far. I've been, you know, sucked in. I'm getting slower with my reading. I have a ton of reading to do. Run the blurb, Myrl. Oh, you know, Will Power. Um, he's here. Joe
Oh, hey
Dan,
there, Wapala.
you make sure that you secure him for an interview with PopPop. So I already got believe it or not, I got Alex Karn to agree, and I've got Eric D to agree. So, and I've already taken care of Joe Dan. Well, actually, Joe Dan just
Yeah,
took care of
Eric
it.
Dantigny. He's actually French. We don't talk about it much, but yes, Eric
Dalton, yeah, I
Dantigny.
can't do that. I'm, you know, I can barely speak English, let alone French. So that's not happening. So Will Power, you're going to have to submit to an interview. Hopefully, I'm not that bad. So we have an isekai. People die. People, you know, get, you know, summoned out and killed. People get truck kunned. That doesn't happen with you.
Well, it's a bit like a truck.
It,
It,
well, I know it's not a little bit like a truck. I mean, it's sudden, but come on, it's a Cthon. It's Cthulhu esque.
sure,
It's
yeah. One of the
that's what
reviews early on Royal Road was says I've seen an isekai in a subway, but not like this. In that the character was making sandwiches, and a customer comes in who happens to be an interdimensional zombie. Is the easiest way to describe it. Is that he's not quite human, and he gets the order wrong, and he doesn't honor the coupon because
I
it's
love
expired.
I love that.
Yeah,
So you're not going to honor the coupon. I mean,
yeah, and
a
so he loses his life,
very
which
term
is
of
what
art.
happens. Yeah.
It's a term of art with that character. I don't know if it shows up again. We'll find that. And then you go on, and we find out that the afterlife is a bureaucracy.
Yeah, well, yeah, much like real life, you don't get an escape from it.
And you have a goddess. This is about as far as I get. You have a goddess who's mid level.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
you
well,
know you expect
mid-level
a
in this
goddess to be all powerful
sure. Well, I mean, mid-level in the space of the heavens is still quite high from our perspective.
from
I
our
would say,
perspective. But I would hate to see who's over and above them. So now that's as far as I got. Guys, I will continue to read. I'm always reading. Everyone knows that. I mean, I finished, oh my God, Joe Dan, I have to finish Wayspring Wonder. God, I'm a failure. It's horrible. It's tough being a boomer in this day and age. So we have 3 books out. Fourth book is coming up soon. When's that? February or March?
February 10th is the release of book 4.
There is a question. There was a question. I'm not sure if there is the cover that is pretty daggone intense. I like it. I'll
Yeah,
keep
that's
buying.
yeah. That was we had some fun with that. I'm glad they were like, there was a werewolf monster, and I was like, but he's wearing a vest. It's like,
Well, I guess you know hand wavium can work with clothes from the human side of things as
sure.
well.
Well,
So
he doesn't actually transform. That's just what he looks like.
he's just what he looks
So
like, but
so
he
you
has a
can get a
fashion
custom vest. Yeah, it's important. It's
fashion sense.
important to look
Fair
nice.
enough. You can always maintain some sort of fashion as you're a beast. You know, that's a whole nother series you can come up with. You know, the monster evolution of a vest wearing werewolf.
There you go. It just straight into the fashion industry. We just do the Devil Wears Prada, but LitRPG and werewolves.
So, book 4 is that it? Or are you going to continue on? What
That
is the
is the end
future
of
of
the
Dark Lord
series
of
for
Crafting?
now. I mean, the ending. So the end of book 4 is a little open ended, but the main arc of the story is complete by then. The big bad is defeated, you've learned a few things. The system is expanded, and that's for now. That's going to be where it ends down. Before
Doug Losey is here. Doug is a very fashion beasta. I get that.
there you go.
And BJ is a loyal follower ever since we met way back before LitRPG Con 1. So we appreciate all my loyal people who keep showing up despite me. So we have book 4. That at least gives me a target to get through, not, like some of the other OG types who are at book 15 with no signs of ending. Not to name any names. Now, I do realize that James A. Hunter should, in my humble opinion, write about 800 Discount Dan books because there's 999 floors. So, maybe he can combine a couple.
Sure. But, yeah, you could get through 3 or 4, knock it down to 250 books.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take 250 books. I'll build a room. I'll build an addition to the house to put that in there. I got no problem.
Yeah, you spend the rest of his life in the back rooms.
I'm already in the back rooms most of the time, So, but not those back rooms, just this one. So we have those book 4s, and we also have an earlier series. 3. Now, is this more like a VR type?
It is.
Character creation. It's a trilogy, by the way, people. BJ, there's 3 more books for you. Go look them up.
Yeah, that was my first foray into LitRPG. So in 2022, actually, Shadow Alley, it was the only year they've ever done open submissions. And I was one of the people who slipped in to their organization at that time. Actually, alongside, the other person who's still there is Miles English. His series, In Another World, came in at right around the same time. Yeah, his first series, In Another World, didn't pop up quite as much.
Yeah.
But then, Bog Standard came a couple years later. And I think it was also, Marshall Moore came in that year with his Pale City series. But anyway, that's when I got involved with Shadow Alley. It was through their open submissions, 2022.
So, and that's concluded. That I know you told me that arc has been concluded with 3 books, and that's where that stands at.
Yep, just as a trilogy.
So, what is William Myrl doing in the future now?
I have several story ideas that are sort of percolating, but I have gotten severely sidetracked by game development. I'm working on a tower defense game at the moment.
And is this going to be something that goes out to Steam?
There's a desktop version that I'm working on that'll be for Steam. I was actually hoping I could get the page up and ready before we talk, but perfectionism has gotten the better of me, and it's something that was supposed to take 2 weeks. Setting up the page and doing the last few fixes ended up moving to a month. So that's not ready yet. But yeah, it'll be a Steam version and a mobile version. But it's actually, so it's called Tower Ship Defender because it's not actually a tower like a medieval keep. The spaceship and just alien ships come in from all sides until you die functionally, because the final version is just an endless waves.
Is it like the good old? Are these tower defense games? Are they like the good old Galaga and Galaxian type things from the 80s that I would remember, or the 70s and 80s?
There is some similarity to that. I mean, if you have the little guy on the bottom going back and forth and shooting up enemies coming down. So in this version, it's just the central ship is stuck, the engines are down, and the buggers are coming in. The alien ships that have little insectile features coming in from all sides, and it just you shoot continuously and upgrade your systems as you go, and you just keep knocking out waves for as long as you can.
Sounds a little Starcraftian with.
Oh, I love StarCraft, and actually, StarCraft gets mentioned in the first, at the beginning of Dark Order Crafting.
Yep,
That
saw
was
that.
an alternate idea. I have often wanted to do a uh, dungeon core adjacent idea that was basically just the Zerg, which actually there is uh, they call it like LitRTS. It's just like a subset of LitRPG. Uh, there's already a thing that, and I'm sorry, I forget the name, that does sort of a Zerg thing. But it's
So now I have to
that's
go Google lit RTS and see what comes up.
there's not a whole lot of it on Amazon, but there are a few things.
Great. Go
That
ahead,
was
BJ. Go look
one
up
thing.
lit RTS. Go find more. So
Yeah, that was
with StarCraft, I could never. I mean, any of the RTSs, I couldn't figure out how to do things really fast. I was always a very methodical base builder in those games. So every time I would think that I was really well placed, about 4.8 billion bugs would descend upon me. So it got very frustrating. So I just, eventually went over towards, beyond WoW into, EQ and, just doing MMOs at some point rather than the StarCraft and
well, RTS that's actually my favorite genre, and I am the bugs generally. I mean, StarCraft Zerg was my species, in Warcraft, but before World of Warcraft, they had the RTS version. I
yeah,
was getting
the first Warcrafts.
yeah, and I would play the Necromancers and just spam skeleton summons.
Yeah, that's true. That was fun way back when. I still probably out in my garage. I could probably still track down all the CDs for
Yeah,
all those
and
and all the mods.
those style of games don't translate as well to the lit RPG space, which is generally more character focused on the
Right.
individual. But it's very close to Dungeon Core. I mean, it's functionally you could do a Dungeon Core story that's just RTS.
So so BJ, are you still making me cookies even though I'm not eating cookies anymore? Are you going to force me to do something? So, guys, if you guys have other questions, there is a question I want to go back and I'm not sure if it was whether this would be on Audible, which I haven't been able to figure out how to do. Put my interviews from onto audio, be it on Apple or whatever have you. But it was, is this going to be an Audible? So are the books on Audible or are
The
they
first
audio?
book is on Audible, but I don't want to make any false promises about the rest of the books. Uh, it's entirely an economic decision on whether or not something goes on Audible because it's
Oh, cost.
quite expensive to get recorded.
Yep. And that's unfortunately everything is economics.
Yeah.
If it's not affordable, you can't do it. Very understandable. So if you guys have any other questions, make sure you keep tossing them in there. So you're now working at Shadow Alley Press.
Mm-hmm.
What is your primary function over there in SAP?
Well, my official title is Reader Experience Manager, which doesn't really mean anything on the face of it. You know, it's a nice vague title. I always like to say that I'm their Facebook goblin because that's where most of my time goes.
And that's where I see you, and that's where I see all your posts and whatnot. So, and
Yeah, so I help manage the social media and help with the newsletter and do a few other things on the back end and keep up with some analytics for a few things.
and we oh, the files that you sent me, am I allowed to use those over on the talk? Or
Yeah, uh the videos or the
yes.
yeah, that was the idea, and I cleared
I
that
just
with
want to make
Jeanette
sure.
just to make sure. Yeah, yeah, I did ask her about it just to make sure, but yeah, you're uh welcome to run those on TikTok.
Okay. And then let me know the same thing with William. I mean with James.
Mhm.
If I can, if you ever get to do those.
Yeah, I definitely will. It's this month has been a lot of releases, but
Yeah,
I'll get to
and
those.
again, I'll have to sit down. And now that I know that you do a lot of that editing on CapCut, I can do that as well. I've a
It's
little
a
bit of
really
experience.
convenient program. It's limited in a lot of ways, and oh my gosh, how awkward it is to search through transitions and animations when you can't actually search them and they're changing periodically. I had one that I really liked that I used for audiograms as just the image comes up, and they removed it. They just remove animations periodically, and but that's CapCut. You take the good with the bad.
Yeah, you do. But then again, the alternative would be to go do, have to go and learn something completely different, like Descript or some other program, like as you were mentioning, DaVinci beforehand. No, I don't have time for learning, but
DaVinci is a fantastic program, DaVinci Resolve, and it's free, and you can do anything on it. But it's an investment of time to get the systems in place you would need and build out a workflow for producing it at speed. Whereas CapCut is already there and it's already easy. That's it. Just
and we know boomers don't have time to learn things. And Doug and BJ, you make sure you let Rec know that I am representing Richard tonight. It was a decision. This is Stumbling Up by Reckwell. It's going to get released in a month or two. I've known him since before LitRPG Con, so I always try to wear something for a shirt. Now, if Shadow Alley would send me some stuff, I'd of course be wearing all that kind of fun stuff. Should I go model the bathrobe?
I mean, we all want to see you in a bathrobe.
Come on. Okay. Hold on.
And PopPop disappears behind the bed, never to be seen again.
Now, again, this bathrobe is handmade by the ink slinger himself, by James A. Hunter, not by anyone else.
And your patch is still stuck on. That's impressive.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's not going to get washed. It better not come off. Well, it's not sewed on, so yeah. If it gets dirty,
a heat transfer.
This is getting dirty, and it's going to stay dirty because I'm not going to be washing this and having things drop off. We got a googly eye. We've got, I guess, a balloon. So yeah, that's in the book. So, and do I have a pog? There should be a pog on this, right? Stay rad. Well, that's a 90s language. So here we go. Let me tell you, this is sweaty. It is the perfect quality for a real imitation Versace
Backrooms bathrobe.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty amazing. I was so happy.
I googly eye right
there,
roughly nipple height. That's excellent.
Yeah, it depends. I can adjust it, and it might irritate it a little bit. So well, never mind. We're not going to go there. I am bringing it to Jordan Con. Because if Gary Bradley's going to be there, or whoever else has them, Jay Baraz, whoever else has these things. Oh my God, Doug, it's horrible in Florida. Over the weekend, just so you know, and I'm going to post this again, it's going to be like 20 degrees.
It has been freezing.
And that's not good. That's not good down here. The gator out in the retention pond is, really pissed off at this point because it's just sitting there, not able to move. So probably 2 weeks before it can eat or anything like that.
Gathering its strength.
Ember Holt asks, how many books have you written and published or otherwise? So we know we have the character creation, the Mystic Seasons upload series, and we have the Dark Lord of Crafting series. What else are you responsible for?
So that's 7 books with Shadow Alley Press, which are my LitRPG segment. I had self-published some young adult fantasy books prior to that, which I ended up taking down actually because I wasn't doing the work to sell them, and I wanted to rewrite a lot of things. And if I ever get back to those, it's something. It's one of those things I would like to do, but it's what time I will do it. We'll see. This year, I'm going to, or actually, relatively soon, I'm going to be self-pubbing a collection of poetry, just sort of on the side. which actually Joe Dan is going to narrate for me, so we can do an audio thing.
You think his voice
Because
can handle something like that?
can his
Without,
voice handle it? Have you heard him? He's a symphony.
I interviewed him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just you know, a smooth baritone, far manlier than I could ever sound.
I will always pick on the people that I interview. Poor Justin Whitaker is getting murdered by me afterwards, and he doesn't understand my millennials don't understand boomer sarcasm. So that's a problem. I won't mess with Joe Dan because he's got the upper body strength to swing
He's
that
very
prosthetic in
tall
my head.
and broad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he could take me out in like one blow, and
best to leave him be.
Yeah.
Also, he carries a weapon around with him. Just there's always metal on his person.
Joe Dan, are you going to Jordan Con? You're permitted to answer if he's still here.
He may have wandered off. We started talking about him. He had to disappear.
Of course, why not? So you said that way back when you got into Shadow Alley Press, they had open auditions or an open process. What is the process like now? Is it the same?
Yeah, well, it's evolved over time. Originally it was just James and James books and a few people he knew and had met at cons at other places, and was like, hey, we can, we're publishing my stuff, we can publish your stuff. And then he co-wrote a lot of books with Aaron and Eden Hudson, Aaron Michael Ritchie and Eden Hudson. That's where he met. They also met J.D. Astra in the VGO universe. There were a lot of co-writers, co-authors, and that expanded to bring on other people. So
we were just talking about you, Justin. So you're good. We don't have to repeat it.
Yeah, it was mostly people they knew at first, but in more recent years, they've been picking people up or meeting them on Royal Road. Either they reach out to them, or sometimes people have reached out to us to Shadow Alley to talk about publication. And it just depends.
It's not something that are they actively looking to expand, or is it just they have a nice little?
Well, they always have their eye out for more people, and I think they're always open to meeting new people. But it becomes a question of you can only take on so many new authors in a given year. And what is unique about Jedi Press is how much they stick with people and really try to foster the authors that work with them. So someone's might have a series that's successful, and then the next series doesn't do as well. The next series doesn't do as well, but they don't drop people generally, and it's a pretty close-knit group that works with them.
Well, we're allowed to mention people, Will. That's the whole thing, especially with everything that Shadow Alley has. So far, I guess you're my third Shadow Alley Press
James
author.
And Joe Dan and myself. So
James, Joe Dan, and you. So, and I have Alex Carnes scheduled. I'm trying to get him penned in for February because as he says, he wants to do it before he gets involved in another project and forgets about it. Mm-hmm. So what the heck? I don't want people forgetting about me. And Eric Dontinier, I would say Dontigny, but what the hell do I know? So
yeah, and you never know for sure how books are going to do, like on Amazon. Liam Lawless signed on with them recently, the author of Apocalypse.
Did we talk about him yet? you and me?
I don't think we've talked about him yet. I'm sure he'll talk to you. I'll send him a
Yeah,
message.
reach out and check
He's a
because
lot of fun, and he's also super young. He's a baby.
I heard James
I don't think
mentioned that.
one day he'll be old enough to drink. But his book did moderately well on Royal Road, and when it first came out on Amazon, it was a slow start, but it had a fantastic tale. I think the first book has like 800 reviews right now, ratings reviews.
Wow.
There's a huge, uptick from where it started, because the first few weeks it was out, you didn't see those numbers, but it picked up.
And
so you never know how things are going to go.
And if you guys don't know Liam Lawless, it's the Apocalypse is a side quest.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's a side quest, it's still an apocalypse. So PopPop's all about apocalypsi. He loves them. So, I'm going to continue with that one as well. Myrl, are you sure you said the right series name?
For which one? The Apocalypse is a side quest for Liam Wallace? What series name are we talking about?
Help us out here, Will. And a boat hermit.
Oh, I see. You're right. Yeah, no, Will Powell is right, because I should have said heretical fishing.
Heretical fishing is.
So there's a long-standing mess around involving Liam, where people confuse him with Haylock. And
oh, really? Well, I can kind of sort of understand that with the concept of the boat and the fishing and all that. Yeah, but
it's not in the title of the series, but it's it's in the blurb and it's in the cover. You see the guy fishing in his little boat.
I really don't want to get Haylock perturbed with me before I get him interviewed. That's going to be tough enough to figure out 14-hour time difference when I got him to agree to it. So,
oh, that's great.
We're not heretics. And Will Power has, what's the basis of his books? We're going to get them all. We're just going to hit all of Shadow Alley since you're involved.
Blood Shaper is what got. He's mentioning he's in on it. They've met Haylock at Dragon Con.
Yeah, what the hell? He fed LitRPG Con Monday morning, on his birthday. So.
But Will Power started with Blood Shaper, 6 books, complete series, and he's working on Soulbound Contractor right now, which is a bit of a deck building, a bit of a Pokemon.
I can get up and move. Now just look at this. Look how easy I can get to my Shadow Alley Press shelf.
The shelf.
I have a shelf. Liam, Joe Dan, James A. Hunter, Alex Karn, Miles English. Oh. Isekai Terry.
There you go. That's the new one.
Brand new. And again, you have to get this because it's just a cool looking snake. Or
they are my favorite covers we've ever done, honestly. And that's one of the artists we work with a lot. His name's Robert. They've probably drawn more covers than any other single artist that worked with Shadow Alley. And it just came out great. And that cover actually went through a lot of revisions.
Justin.
There was another version that was a snake on a table with a contract on it, which was a beautiful image, but didn't read as the book cover that everybody really wanted. So they ended up redoing the whole image as what you have now, which is the guy and the snake and capturing.
So do you guys have a process of how you create the book or get the book, edited, and then do you do the cover first? Is the cover last? How do you go with that?
So the process has changed over time with Ember Holt. That is one of her many names. and she is the art director at Shadowlight Press. And yeah, the process has evolved over time. For covers, the authors submit an art brief with they answer various questions, and then they work with her to get an idea, and it goes to an artist who puts the image together. And doesn't always work out perfectly as people imagine, but there's a lot of compromise and back and
Just in
forth.
case you're leaving, Will.
Yeah.
Will might have to leave, he says.
And sometimes you get some really beautiful things.
And now you said that well, I know that Alex Karn came out of Roar Road.
Mm-hmm. And with his cover, yeah, his story, Magic Murder Cube Marine, just
I love that book. I love that story. I love that story.
And it's hilarious. And I'm sure if you end up talking to him, he'll talk about it. But the system he has is
he'll have no choice but to talk about it.
Yeah, he's real. When you get him on here, it's really detailed because it's based on an actual game that they like a homebrew game system. So there's a lot of depth there. But yeah, hilarious book. And that cover was actually a version of a cover that he did on Royal Road, and they gave it again to this Robert, same artist that we work with, and was like, "Hey, do this cover, but do it again." And in your
well, I will tell. I mean, I do love an isekai. Second only to Apocalypse, but what really drives me a lot is the cover of a book. And when I saw Magic Murder Cube Marine's cover, it was like, holy shit, I have to have that. So Ember, you guys do really well in your decisions there. So that cover, I said, I have to get this. And then I'm old school. I really don't do ebooks. I can't do audiobooks because my ears just don't process all that well. That'll change for one book, and that's my second interview tonight. I have to watch the time because we have a second interview tonight. But it's always the cover, and I have to have, as you can tell, I love my paperbacks. I'm old school, or my hardbacks as well. So when I see an awesome cover, it's like, okay, that's it. I'm in. So keep it up. So what else do you want to talk about, William? Do you want to throw anyone over at SAP under the bus?
Under the bus? No.
Isekai them somewhere? I'm just saying.
Yeah. As long as we're on the subject of covers, if I could, there's no easy way for me to find it, but on Royal Road, I went through several different covers, ended up drawing one of my own. And at the time, I had just taken pictures of myself in different poses and drawn myself with like holding a mattock like this, just like
okay, fine, okay. I thought we were going some other way, but that's okay. No, we're good now.
Not like those poses. Come on now.
Okay.
Trying to smash a zombie, and so when they did the cover for the official cover for the Dark Lord of Crafting, and they were like, one of the questions in the art brief is there any actor or someone that you would want as a reference, like to who this looks like? And I just sent them a bunch of pictures of my face making funny expressions.
I'm sorry, Gary Bradley has one of these. He had it before me. So
yeah, Red Road Crew, very nice.
Ember had a question. Ember, I don't have any hardbacks from Shadow Alley. I just have paperbacks.
Well, she's asking if there's a specific one that you'd like.
Oh, that I would like? I don't even know what they have a hardcover version of.
Not all of them are available as hardcover, I think. There's a slightly different formatting than the paperback or the ebook.
Discount Dan?
Well, that one definitely is available on hardback.
Discount Dan. That would be awesome. Because I have certain opinions about Discount Dan versus DCC. And I have to be very careful how I say it. I think James knows where I stand on Discount Dan, because obviously I wanted to keep going for 800 or 250 books.
So she just reminded me because Amber Holt also is upstairs right now. But so there's going to be special editions for Discount Dan later this year. We're working with Influence to do. There's going to be a Kickstarter.
All right, more money.
Special editions with
So who are you who are you working with?
The company is the Influence, and so there's going to be like a slip cover and like a shiny cover and images on the inside and everything. And
so I have to start putting money aside for that.
Maybe we'll see it'll come out later this year. They'll probably start.
It'll be a hit, so that doesn't really matter.
And when that one, after that one, they're going to do one for Unintended Cultivator, and we'll see where we go from there.
Which is the one? What comes out after? What's the other one?
So they're going to do a special edition for Discount Dan, and we're going to do one for Unintended Cultivator as well.
You're babbling with that last one.
Unintended Cultivator by Eric Thompson.
Oh, okay, by Eric. Okay, there you go. Okay, there you go. All right, thank you. Sorry, I'm old. I can't hear. It was the boomer. Yeah, I know you are, Gary. I know. Is that how you say it, Ember? Dong Tigney?
That's it actually is. Don Tigney, yeah. We just mess with him a bit and call him Don Tigney. Yeah.
Go a little bit Norman, back in the days of the conquest. Sorry, I'm a history buff or a freak. Gary Bradley, I mean, if we can get Andrew Finkbeiner to move away from from DCC, maybe he'll spend money on it too. Who knows? But so what else is going on that you want to chat about? Because we have about 10 minutes I can force you to stay here with.
Yeah, a few minutes left. No, I mean, that's for me. We've got book 4 is going to finish out the series for the Dark Lord of Crafting. I'm working on my game, doing my little poetry book, and we'll see where my LitRPG stories go for this year. I do have a few different ideas. I've actually been toying with getting into cultivation for a little while.
Yeah, that's into the wonderful, the big Venn diagram. Where we all are within LitRPG, since progression fantasy is LitRPG, but not all progression fantasy is LitRPG. So we know that argument. So that what is there anything that I should be on the lookout for in the series that will? Yes, Justin. But no, that's not a Venn diagram.
Square rectangle.
Yeah, no. Different thing. Is there going to be something that shocks me in Dark Lord of Crafting? Because it says Dark Lord, so to me it seems like that's just one step above or around the end of the world and destruction and necromancy and all that stuff. Or is it more cozy?
The fate of that world of Plana, where he ends up, certainly does hang in the balance. So when he arrives on Plana, there is a Dark Lord, Kevin, who is a previous isekai, and
his name is Evan.
Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Kevin.
And
you get rid of Kevin real easy.
The series has a lot to do with him and the consequences of overthrowing him.
So then by overthrowing, he becomes.
It's entirely possible.
Fair enough. I mean, I love the fact that you're not giving anything away, and I'm going to have to continue to read them. I see that Will decided not to leave and do his paperwork. So, Ember, make sure he gets that done. And what is all squares are rectangles, but aren't? Yes, fine. But we do Venn diagrams. We don't do squares and rectangles, Justin. Don't try to force us into your world. It doesn't work.
And so the the main character of DLC has a lot more background than you see in some isekais, which was just sort of it started out as kind of a joke, and started out as here and there is a bit of a self-insert, because everyone is a computer programmer in isekais. If you start looking, everyone is a computer programmer. So I thought it was fun to do, an ex-con who worked at Subway. It's an alternative.
Have you seen Ember Holt? Is she truly built from polygons?
Everyone's built from polygons if you look close enough.
Come on, I have an interview after this. I have to keep my brain, functioning. And look at that. We got that photobomb.
And that was JD Astra, author of Firebrand.
So JD Astra is going to show up for an interview as well, correct?
Maybe we'll have to lure her in.
I'm a nice guy. Come on, everyone. Justin, come on. Interview. Even, get Joe Dan. Joe Dan will tell everybody that I'm a great interviewer. I let everyone go on and on and on and on and on, except when I have an interview coming up. Are you interested in knowing who I'm interviewing after this, William Myrl?
Please tell us about him.
Cornman, Mage Tank is coming up.
I love the cover for Mage Tank. That
with the pink boa. Yeah, kind of like a little bit similar to Magic Murder Cube Marine, but a different concept.
Also, there's an octopus involved, which I approve of.
It's a chthonic. Yeah. It's a Cthulhu as opposed to an octopus.
I mean, you can call it what you will, but there are tentacles involved. In my first series, Mystic Seasons Upload, there was also the main character, the flesh familiar, was ended up in an octopus body. That's
he is the familiar is pretty much a sociopath. So it's really interesting to have that relationship between, the isekai Max Min character and a sociopathic octopus, so to speak. I'd have to go count the legs. So we'll have to figure that out. Myrl and his animal obsessions. I don't even want to go there. Octopi and frogs. You have an obsession with frogs?
It's not my fault that there should have been a glass frog in Will Powell's novels. We were talking about different familiars, and there just should have been a glass frog. I'm sorry. From what he described, that was the right creature to go, and he just went a different direction.
Will,
he'll never recover from it.
Can you swing around, though? Can you swing around to get a glass frog in a future?
You can bring the glass frogs in. I think he can swing around to it.
I mean, don't you want to, be responsive to your audience to the extent that William Myrl is your audience? It's always a good thing to do that.
Yeah, octopuses and squids.
Octopi.
My favorite animals. I mean, that's what is that? Like the roots for the word octopus and the roots for the pluralizing as octopi are two different languages, so it doesn't really make sense to conflate them as octopi.
So Greek versus something else.
I mean, you can do it. You can say octopi. I'm not going to get mad at somebody for saying.
But you can also say octopuses.
It's octopuses. Yeah.
Okay. And they're pretty much sentient anyway. So we're gonna.
Yeah.
Some nations have already declared them protected and sentient.
It's pretty horrifying. Like if they lived longer than a few years, like who knows what they would be up to. But fortunately, they die young.
No, give them time.
Yeah.
Give them time. They'll get there. Of course, if we start messing around with their, CRISPRing their DNA, you never know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
That's a whole nother story. So are there any other questions? Ember, this is a family show. Mating shuts down their bodies. Well, that happens.
Yeah, with the octopuses,
and if you have one main brain and 8 lesser brains, that's got to just be all that confusing. Adrian Tchaikovsky had a series, Children of Ruin. There's a 3: Children of Time, Children of Ruin, and Children of Memory. Children of Ruin had an octopus's civilization, an octopi, and it was really interesting how you had to operate between the main brain and the lesser brains.
Did he do a book where the spiders became uplifted?
That is Children of Time.
That's the one I read. I read that one.
That
I
is
didn't know he did one with octopuses.
Children of Memory, the third one.
Oh, now I'm going to have to check that out. I didn't realize that he did others in the same vein as Children of Time. That was a really fascinating book.
That was before my entry into LitRPG, and Tchaikovsky, however, read him anytime. He's getting a little bit more fantasy right now. Mm-hmm. So his current books aren't really hollering out to me, but his sci-fi is spot on. So
yeah, it's great. Children of Time was the one I've read. It's fantastic.
Go read more. And you too, BJ. Go read Adrian Tchaikovsky. He's one of those islanders. So, Jez and all those people probably know him. All right. So, William, thank you for coming to my world.
Thanks for having me.
You. It was great to learn all about you, to learn about the books, to learn about Shadow Alley Press, to meet Ember, to meet Will Power, and to see all my good old loyal people, as well as Justin, who comes along to keep me honest, and having Jodan here. Jodan, phenomenal. Of course, we know that James A. Hunter is over there being slippery, expanding the world of LitRPG. But I appreciate.
You got to get over to the Mage Tank.
I have to get ready for Mage Tank. I've got to go make sure I can get those guys in onto the studio. So, guys, 5 minutes. Yes, that's what you do. You keep me honest. William, we'll be in touch.
Yeah, I'll see you on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll be there working also to get Liam and some, Will and that JD Astra person, getting all those people lined up for interviews as well. Ember, if you could get me a hardcover of anything from SAP, I would be eternally grateful. Guys, PopPop is out for now, and I know that I can get out of here real quick. 5, 4, 3, 2.